anything on a burger. Like, you got like a jar of sauce, I will just fucking just slap that on a burger. I will eat anything. I have put like sauerkraut on a burger. I put like I put tartar sauce, I think, on burgers last time. That was actually pretty good. But yeah, good grilled onion. What do you
So my go-to this summer. So we recently got a grill, so I've been really getting into burgers lately.
Good job.
So what I've been doing is consistently seasoned burger, and then you gotta season them. Otherwise, and then you do pepper jack cheese, you do jalapenos, and you do a little bit of sriracha, and you kind of get a little bit of kick. And then what we've been doing is my wife has been making homemade sweet potato fries, and then she mixes, and then she makes a spicy, like it's like a little 2 parts mayo, 2 parts sriracha dipping sauce for it, so you kind of get a little zesty. Are you saying that doesn't sound good to you?
No, it sounds great. Invite me over.
It's so good. It's so good. So we're really leaning into the spicy grill summer. Spicy grill summer is officially the label. Yeah, spicy grill summer.
What do you put on your burgers?
So welcome to Super Deluxe Gamescast, everyone.
Burger toppings? Super Deluxe Burger Cast?
I microwaved some tendies tonight.
Fuck
that was
my dinner.
King.
Hell yeah.
I had depression pizza rolls one night this week. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I made I made some ground beef tacos with diced green chilies and a homemade taco seasoning. And I added some homemade guacamole, a little bit of lettuce, some salsa. And in my salsa, I make my salsa myself. And I use diced tomatoes, onion, lime juice, salt, cucumber. Trust me on this one. Cucumber. Cilantro. And diced jalapenos, a little bit of the jalapeno juice, and some olive oil. Mix it all up. And oh, it's really good. And then I threw some cilantro stems onto the tacos themselves, and it was real good.
I'm mostly interested in seasoning. For a taco, to me, a seasoning is everything, right? Because if you under-season it and it's a really mild taco, it's gotta have some zest. What's in your homemade flavoring? So
in my homemade taco seasoning, I use smoked chili powder, not just any chili powder. A crushed up essence of poblano pepper, salt, regular pepper, a little bit of cayenne, and some oregano.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's not bad. It's not bad.
I can actually vouch for John's tacos. I had tacos when I went over to John's house, and they're very good.
I made Justin tacos.
Oh, he did, and they were very good.
I did. And you know what? You know what the best seasoning of all is? It's when I make love.
Derek, do you have any food talk, or should we do this fucking podcast?
I don't have a food talk, but I have drink talk. So dinner was boring tonight because boring but good. I made some salmon and I made like a big hearty salad with a bunch of fruit and nuts and stuff in it, and I was healthy. But I made this drink, which is pineapple juice and guava nectar with a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of cherry grenadine, and some Beefeater 24 gin.
Fuck yeah, there's that adult juice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So I am on that tropical shit tonight.
I know I've already had the floor like for a long time, but I just want to say shout out to this.
Is that banana beer?
Well, no, it's not beer. I had some rum that I really wanted to drink tonight, but I didn't want to drink it straight. And I didn't have anything to mix it with. So I typed into our apartment group chat, hey, does anyone have any soda? And the answers were no, not home, flat Sprite, and banana soda. So shout out to Cam Koenig for his bottle of banana soda.
Our beautiful friend Cam.
Cam.
Oh.
Yeah. Just to clarify for the people watching live, yes, I did just pour water all over the front of myself. I have not been drinking any alcohol because I do not drink alcohol.
It's okay, Justin. I do it.
This is game fuel.
I'm just hydrated.
This is listen, Justin. 1, it's hot out. You gotta stay cool, buddy.
Yeah.
2, this is glass number 2 of El Dorado 15-year rum, and it's good.
Derek, someone in chat says I'm too quiet. You made me turn my volume down. This is what happened.
I can turn you individually up a little bit. Hang tight.
Yeah, turn Reb up a little bit.
Well,
while Derek is turning Reb up a little bit, wanted to send a special message to somebody who is watching us right now. Kaylee is a fan of the podcast, and she's watching right now, and her mother reached out to me and told me that she's been getting bullied at school because she likes video games. So Kaylee, real quick, don't worry about what anybody else thinks about your hobbies, your loves, what you like to do. As you get older, you're going to care less and less what other people think. I guarantee it. And at my age, look at this. Do you think I care what anybody thinks about all this?
No,
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
As somebody who is deeply, deeply bullied, like, unfortunately, almost all the way through school, you know, people children can be mean. Fellow kids can be mean. And the funny thing is, like, I got bullied so much for being, like, nerdy and for being, you know, not very, like, boyish despite being a little boy and all these other little things. And the funny thing is, all that stuff's really cool when you grow up. Like, I can't count the number of people who made fun of me for playing Pokemon that were playing Pokemon in college, for example. And, you know, people just are insecure and, you know, it sucks. And they're, you know, just don't, you know, forgive them. Be sorry for them because it is a sign of insecurity. And the thing is, they're all of the things that make you individual and make you who you are and all the things you love. All of it, literally all of it becomes cool once you hit, like, college age. You're going to be the coolest kid because everybody is the coolest kid. That's just how it goes.
I want to add to that, Derek, actually. I mean, I was bullied as a kid, too, like, in middle school and high school, kind of for similar reasons, like, because I was into nerdy stuff, like video games and stuff, and I was going to a school where, like, I mean, yeah, everyone played Call of Duty, but, like, it wasn't. Like, it wasn't like Kirby and Pokemon, like, it wasn't cool, but I guess, like, it gets better. It really, really does. Like, you will grow up and you will either find them tomorrow or you will find them, you know, in a few years. You will eventually find your people. You will find your community. It took me until college. People find them at different points in their life, but I went to college and, like, the very first day there was a kid wearing a Pokemon shirt and I'm like, hey, like, same thing. We both like this. And from then on, it was, like, amazing because I had this really cool community of people who, like, loved me for me and the things that I liked and that I cared about. And those people are all over the dang place. So many people like video games. And you will find your people. So it gets better. Oh, yeah. Chin up. So
this is great. So Kaylee's in chat right now. Her mom gave me old information. She's actually 22 now.
Oh my god.
And John! I love her mom so much. She made it sound like this was happening right now.
Oh my fucking god.
Wait.
The child I was giving good adult advice to is just a slightly younger adult.
It's great adult advice. And, you know, I mean... Hey, it's not my fault. I blame Kaylee's mom.
This child is old enough to drink my adult beverage.
Also, they use they, them pronouns.
Okay, cool. See, did not know that. Thank you for telling me that, Kaylee.
Thank you for the update. We will keep that in mind, friend.
I got bad information.
Did you?
I did.
Folks,
but it's okay.
Guess what happened this week?
Cobra, I'm very sorry, but the advice still stands.
It's on brand for John.
Absolutely.
John, just remember that John is our favorite himbo, all right?
Oh my god.
I had stuff to say, but I don't even know what to say now.
What does that mean?
Video games ever?
What is it? I don't need.
Video games did happen this last week.
All these weird, like, this is a young man's game. All these weird terms.
No, John, I swear to God, if you fucking milkshake duck, I swear to God, shut your fucking mouth.
I'm confused. I am so
confused. Listen, this week, Tim Sweeney bent down at the altar of Fortnite and said, "One more season for the king," and we got another season of Fortnite.
Oh my god!
And the new season of Fortnite fucking owns. They're like, what if? Okay. Wait. Let me walk it back.
Zach, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm listening.
Okay. At the end of at the very end of last season, they're like, what if water came to Fortnite? And I was like, say more. And then they replaced the storm with really high, like, interstellar ass waves of water where, like, in the distance you could always just see fish swimming in your perimeter, which was terrifying. And then the new season started, and it's like, the tidal wave came over. The whole map is flooded. There's way more boats. There's swimming sharks. There's a lot going on. It's a very flooded, very, like, summer beach theme. And I love it. And the new season's very good. They have a flooded farm area. The farm is my go-to place. Reb, talk about Fortnite with
you. Can fish and get a shark, and the shark pulls you, and you ski while the shark pulls you around. And like, okay, okay. I have only played one game in this season so far because I have had no time. I played like one game as like a 10-minute break from work, and I got to third. I was one of the last three. It was a solo match. It's fine. So three is respectable. But in those last three, there was a point where the circle was very small, and I was standing on this hill. I'd built a really shabby little house, suck at building, and I looked over on one hill, and someone was over there building a bigger house, and they hadn't really seen me yet, so I kind of ignored them. And I looked over to the other side, and I saw the other person, and the other person was not building. They were not collecting weapons. They were not trying to find us. They were not hiding. They were just on a lake, going in circles, riding a shark. Just going in circles. And I looked at them, and I had my guns, and I could have shot them. And I thought, you know what? That person's living their best life. I'm gonna leave them alone. And then they killed me. Lost.
Damn.
You know.
Damn. But like, okay, the new season is genuinely good. Like they've shaken up a ton of the map, and they've also laid out in the trailer like all these ways they're going to continuously manage to keep shaking up the map. Like right now, it's a very aqueous map. There's a lot of boats. There's a lot of ways to move across land and sea very quickly. It seems that they're teasing out they're going to bring back some ground vehicles, which were big and earlier in Fortnite's life cycle. You know, it's a very fun game, and I'm loving the new skins. There's a new skin in which a kitten operates a mech a Titanfall. Yes. Yes, Meowscles does fuck. It's very cool. There's a lot here with Fortnite. The one thing I will say that continues to be a bummer about Fortnite is you're doing really well, and then you start shooting somebody, and then they just build a tower, and then you're kind of the person in the guillotine, and you look up at the person holding the lever, and then they just pull it, and you die, because people who built them in Fortnite are very good, and you can't beat them, and then you lose. Fortnite stays good. I've also been playing Valorant. Valorant is also a good PC game. That's very fun, despite the fact that you cannot play a game without being called a horrible slur, which sucks. And I wish Riot would take their community management. Yeah, it's awful. It really fucking sucks because the game is fun.
It's interesting how so many companies in the wake of recent tragic events have, one, come out and said, oh, shit, we have all these tools we can use just automatically to make our games less racist than they were before, and we're all of a sudden going to start using them. It's like, one, incredible that that's happening, and two, incredible in the games where it's fucking not happening.
Yep.
Like, I know these tools exist. Everyone else has them. You have tons of money.
You literally have Riot Games money.
Yeah. Riot has. Yeah, no one has an excuse. Riot has no excuse. Fucking Steam, what the fuck, still has no excuse. But yeah, listen. Tangents aside about massive corporations continuing to be fucking awful. Fortnite stays good. Valorant is also fun. That's it. That's all I've been playing. Those two games.
May I go next?
Yes.
Of course you may.
Yay. So this is gonna tie into a thing that was announced, and maybe the only thing people really cared about from the PC gaming show, which is Persona 4 Golden is now on Steam, and I picked it up because it's $20.
Should be on Switch.
I agree with that. I have not played Persona 4 since before Golden came out, so I've never actually played any of the Golden content, and it's just been a very long time, and Lena can attest to this. Persona 4 is very, very important to me. It came along at a very, very bad and dark time in my life. I was right after high school. I was a very dumb and mean and scared and angry person, dealing with a lot of insecurity and dealing with a lot of unsuredness in life, with no real path ahead of me, who was in a very bad situation with my family and with our family's finances and health, and everything was bad. And then Persona 4 came along, and for all of the things that nowadays we can look back and be like, it didn't handle like certain LGBT storylines, Kanji's and Naoto's in particular, it needed to follow through in a way it did not. But despite that, it really did a good job of telling a very angry and shitty young man that, like, hey, it's kind of okay to be like jealous and be and have like these intrusive, not good feelings, because everyone has these kinds of thoughts and feelings, and what's important is not trying to pretend that you're a perfect person, but like acknowledging that you have a shitty side of you and being the kind of person you want to be in spite of that, and that's like the healthy thing to do. So Persona 4 is very important to me. I definitely did not tear up a lot just listening to the menu music while trying to make sure I had it set to the right like game settings.
I don't believe you.
But yeah, so Persona 4, it's the only thing people cared about from the PC gaming show, I think, and it's a port of a Vita game.
That should be on Switch.
That should be on Switch, yes.
John, I swear to God.
And it released before the show.
Yeah, it was already out.
It released before the show actually started, and it was supposed to get announced. So,
yeah, but yeah, so I've just been playing Persona 4, and it's been a great time.
Hell yeah!
I'm so glad. I am really glad because I have not played a Persona game before, and I have my knowledge of them is mainly that 1, people like Persona, 2, good music, 3, problematic. Those are like the 3 facts I know about Persona. And so I know you're someone who's like very sensitive to that kind of thing, especially the specific ways in which Persona 4 is apparently problematic. And so I am glad that you are enjoying it and finding ways to both enjoy it but also be critical of it at the same time.
I would say
that's
4 is
absolutely possible with art.
I would say 4 is much less problematic than 5, where 5 is like just has a straight out bad depiction of gay people, versus 4 has like one character who's kind of an asshole who is homophobic, but he's kind of an asshole, so you're not supposed to agree with his stupid, insecure, dumb young boy tendencies. It's more that it does not follow through on. There's a character whose story really honestly sets up that they are gay or bi or some kind of queer and struggling with that, and it kind of cops out and turns it into like a masculinity thing instead. So it's just not the right follow through. And then it has a story about a character who is definitely coded as dealing with some transgender issues, and it does not follow through and use like the T word and actually talk about that stuff, and instead frames it as social expectations of men versus women, which was like is a good thing to talk about, but it's not the thing you were about to talk about, So missed opportunities more than anything in 4.
Yeah, I really want to see like Atlas has been in the last like several years or so. Atlas has been both, I think, subject to more stronger criticism, rightfully, for the things that it gets wrong.
Yeah.
And also not great, but you can see them slowly becoming maybe a little bit more aware, especially on the localization side, of kind of what the things they deal with are. And so I don't know, like, is there going to be a Persona 6? No, like, what's Atlas going to do next? But I sort of want to believe that maybe with whatever Atlas's next big thing is, they maybe sort of at least somewhat talk to their localization teams over here and be like, hey, what can we do?
I wouldn't count on that, unfortunately, Reb, simply because Catherine came out a long time before Persona 5 did, and Catherine had a very problematic depiction of a trans individual in that game. Like, it was incredibly transphobic. And when
it's all the same writer, though, isn't it? Persona
it's all
3,
the same writer.
Yeah, it's all the same writer, and he is working on a new IP. He did not direct Royal. And so I know there is some hope that
but Royal still had problematic. It was still problematic in several places. And I guess my point is that when Catherine Full Body was released, they said that they had addressed that issue with transphobia, but it was a very minor change. Yeah, no, it didn't really do much at all. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I want to be.
Atlas needs to grow.
I want to be hopeful. Yeah, I feel for the localization teams for the U.S. because I mean I don't know them personally or anything, but I feel like they're being given a very difficult thing or having to sort of work it out, I guess. I don't know. But they might also be part of the problem. I have not played it.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing.
Justin, have you gone?
Let's see. This week I've played a game called Rearrange My Apartment. I have played a game called Pay Way Too Much for Car Repairs unexpectedly.
Listen, those are probably indie games. So.
Yeah,
those probably are
high budget games.
And I have been playing the Watch the Countdown Clock for The Last of Us Part 2 because I have it preloaded on my PS4. There's about a little over an hour and a half left, or 2.5 hours left. and I will be cracking open a monster during this episode to keep me going through the night. But yeah, I haven't really played all that much this week, but I'm really looking forward to starting Last of Us tonight. I have spoken to I've talked about it several times, but the first one is one of my top 3 games ever. And I have spoken to a couple people that have told me that I, in particular, will really like some of the things they did with this game. I don't know any specifics. I haven't even watched all of the official trailers or gameplay that has been released. So I'm going in pretty in the dark, and I'm really excited. I'm planning on just kind of blasting through that this weekend. And I'm really looking forward to it, because I'm kind of in that weird period where, like, after, like, it's happened to me with E3 a lot, and it's kind of hitting me a little bit, like, after that PS5 conference, is like, hey, here's a bunch of really, really cool games that you can't play for a while, and it's like, I want to play those games. But thankfully, there's actually something exciting coming out this week, so I'm just looking forward to that, and I'm sure I will be talking more about that game in the future once I actually play it.
Justin, I'm super curious, and you don't have to answer this now, like, you can wait till you actually play the game, but I am very curious about your thoughts on it, because like, we've talked about this before. We know that The Last of Us Part 2 is not a game for Rebecca. It's not a game that Rebecca likes. Rebecca is very critical of a lot of things surrounding the game, and I know you are too, like, things like work practices, and the way some things are depicted. That said, today was sort of interesting, because as embargo restrictions lifted, we started seeing more people who were, critics and people who had played the game already talk a little bit more candidly about it, and, even without spoilers, but sort of saying how the just fucking wildly restrictive review guidelines made it, and that combined with the marketing, made it very, very difficult to talk about The Last of Us Part 2, and I think it's been very interesting, because my impression of it, literally up until basically today, has been that it is just this horrifically, unnecessarily violent game, like, just at all points. And I don't think that that's necessarily untrue, but it has been interesting to suddenly see a bunch of people come forward and say a little bit more detail about kind of the emotional impact and the softness of that game, too, that they weren't allowed to say before, and the ways in which the marketing did it wrong. And that has been very interesting.
And I really agree with you there, because I think the marketing for this game has been bad.
Real bad.
Like I said, I'm such a huge fan of the first game, but, like, they specifically said, and they had said back when the first game blew up and everything, that they wouldn't do a sequel unless they had a good reason to. And story-wise, in what they divulged in the trailers, did not get me excited. It did not feel like this is a good reason to return to the world of The Last of Us. It felt like this sounds like the most basic revenge plot story they could have taken.
They marketed it so that everybody thought that it was basically a fridging your gays revenge plot.
Yeah.
And I know everyone was like, it's probably not actually that, but the fact that they made it look like that is not great. It's not good marketing.
Yeah. But, like, also just, and I could talk about, we did an episode where we talked about marketing violent games, and I criticized a lot of stuff surrounding Last of Us as well. But, like, because I think they were so restrictive with what they were going to talk about with the story, it also made it so that they could only really focus on the level of violence in this game, which is unfortunate, because the reason the original Last of Us hit for me is it's not entirely like man is the real monster kind of story. It's people are capable of great cruelty and great love. And it's kind of how these things intertwine and how they break people and how they influence people. So there's moments that are really, really sweet, really funny, interspersed between all the misery and stuff. And it wasn't until I read particularly Natalie Flores' review for Paste.
Shout out to Natalie.
Which she was somebody that did not like the first game and has said that she thinks 2 might be her favorite game ever, which is very exciting. But she was the first person I saw that described what I wanted in a sequel to The Last of Us.
I linked her review in the chat. You should go read it.
Oh, perfect. Yes, go check it out. It's a great review. And so I'm glad to see that, and I am glad to see that a number of women and queer people have been able to review the game, and were quite positive on representation and things like that. as well as glowing accessibility scores, which is not something I would have expected from The Last of Us to really pioneer. So that stuff has made me very excited and kind of let myself get as excited as I normally would be for this game, because the marketing, one, because I've avoided a lot of the marketing because I want to go in fresh, but two, because a lot of the marketing didn't click with me. But so I'm really excited to go through it and to see where it takes me tonight. So
I'm excited for you. I'm really excited that there's a game you're excited for, man.
So I guess it's me, huh?
Get it?
So today I finished Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Wait, Zach, have you gone yet?
Zach went first.
Yeah, he started.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. I couldn't remember. Okay, so today I finished Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Great JRPG. I finished the first one on Wii U years ago. It's never going to be one of my favorite JRPGs of all time, but for what it is, it's an extremely well-made, solid game with a lot of little minor problems, but it still is able to kind of become more than the sum of its parts. And it's a long game. After about 65, 70 hours, I finished it. I'll probably get into the post-game future connected stuff. Why is my name moving around?
I don't know. That's weird.
My name.
It's weird that it's doing that.
Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean name?
No, on the stream, Derek started putting my name around.
I can't have the stream open or else my internet will die.
No, go for it, Derek. I like it. It adds a little bit of flavor. I've also been playing Isle of Armor since that released. Really enjoying it so far. The entire Isle of Armor is basically one big wild area, which I think is really cool. And I hopped on my bike and just kind of took a ride across the island, and it's not incredibly massive, but I do really appreciate the amount of variety there is in the landscape. I came across a swamp and a forest and a desert, and there's beaches, and it's really cool. The landscape itself is much more diverse than the Galar region itself. So I think it's great so far. And it makes me really, really glad that they're going the DLC route as opposed to just another Pokemon game this year.
Are you finding the 150 Diglett?
Yeah, I have not even started trying to find the Diglets yet.
150 Diglett.
I have not even.
I'm not actually mad. I think it's very funny.
Wait, what?
What is this?
Okay, so there's a side quest. So when you get to the Isle of Armor, you get there's like a brief encounter like at the train station, and then you're kind of indicated that you're supposed to go to this dojo across the bridge, and you start walking towards it, and this dude stops you, and there's like a Diglett in the ground, and you're like, okay, a Diglett, is this an Alolan Diglett? It is. And the dude's like, yeah, I got this Alolan Diglett. I actually have 150 of one of these, and they're all lost. I don't know where they went. Can you help me find them? And so there are 150 Alolan Diglett scattered across the Isle of Armor, and they are underground, so all you see is just the very tiny top of their head and the little hairs sticking out. That's all you see, and there are 150 of these.
I am going to find every one of them.
The reward is actually good. The reward is at certain milestones of finding certain amounts of them, he gives you Alolan Pokemon. So this is how they have introduced
Alolan. That's cool.
Alolan Raichu, the fucking best Pokemon. Alolan Executor, also an extremely good Pokemon. And then the very last reward is apparently an Diglett, which is very funny.
This game just I'm so happy I got into Pokemon, Reb. Like
Pokemon's great.
It really is.
DLC too. It's really great.
Like I went back and I played Pokemon Emerald and Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Red. Like I'm so glad I got
into the best Pokemon game. Whatever.
Which one is that?
Gold and Silver, man, or Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or Crystal.
I have not played Gold and Silver. You're right.
Crystal is the best Pokemon.
Okay, all right, I'll remember that. And there's another game that I have not played yet. That is out now. It's not The Last of Us, and I wanted to demonstrate it for everybody on the podcast here. So I got my toothbrush, and I got my toothpaste ready to go. So let's do this. Here we go.
I want to watch.
It's called
oral hygiene. I got everything ready to roll right here. Let's here you go.
To a Pokemon Smile.
I can't play that game, which is really upsetting to me.
I'm buffing it. It's not doing anything.
It doesn't recognize my camera.
There we go.
Can I pay to not see this?
So what is this?
Okay, so John is
Can somebody explain this to me?
Yeah. John's playing Pokemon Smile.
And playing Pokemon at the same time.
Brush your teeth, John. It's a free app that was released this week by the Pokemon
He's gonna go to
company.
a sink after this, right?
It is intended to help children feel more encouraged to brush. So you have this game, you open it up, you pick a Pokemon. I think you pick like Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Pikachu, or Eevee, whatever. And then they like sit on your head, and it has a camera. It like recognizes your phone's camera, and it gives you like this AR feature where you brush your teeth. And as you brush your teeth, it like tracks your toothbrush, and like it tries to encourage you to like brush for like a certain period of time and get like all the different areas. And if you do really well, then you capture Pokemon or get little accessories to put on your starter Pokemon. That's the idea. Mine doesn't work, so I'm gonna go spit. Go spit.
John, please go to a sink.
Dad,
John, go to a sink.
Dad,
rinse out your mouth.
I have a glass of water here. Coward.
John, the world does exist just off of your camera.
I have a glass of water here.
John, do you have like a fucking spittoon set up next to you?
I just said I have a glass of water. Let's see how I did.
Good brushing habit. That was not even 2 minutes.
So right now the game is screaming at me that it can't see my toothbrush anymore.
Yeah, it fucking can't.
Neither can I, and I'm happy about it.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like right now, Squirtle.
You have a kid. Does your kid have good brushing habits? Did you teach him well?
Of course, although he lies to me constantly about it.
That's good.
Well, that's good.
You should get him Pokemon Smile.
Is this 12? Is this not just one more?
29.
Is this not just one more application that is trying to get our youth accustomed to cameras constantly being on their faces, tracking their motions, and knowing what they're up to?
I mean,
just really makes you think, huh?
I know that's mostly a joke, Zach, but I do think it is.
I'm kind of serious.
I really want Zach to run his own left-wing podcast radio. Like,
I do think it is just another app to get our kids accustomed to the idea of Pokemon at an early age, thereby selling them more games.
So like, this is.
My breath feels great now, though. So
John, you should do that more often. This is going to be the part of the show where like I like reveal a tattoo of like a "Don't Tread on Me." That's like no, like this is it. Like, reveal.
It's the new Gator fuck around and find out poster.
So back before I gave up on doing it, I had this idea for an April Fool's episode where we would be the fake fictional podcast we all make fun of. The Insane Pro Brocast.
The Insane Pro Brocast.
And Zach's alter ego would be like a right-wing, like Ben Shapiro type, and he would have his own segment called The Zach Down with Smack Robertson.
Oh my god.
And he would just be like,
can I be your token anti-feminist woman, please?
Yes. Yeah. You're Christina Hoff Summers.
Yeah.
You'll have to bleach your hair though, Reb.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
You have to grow it out too.
I was gonna be a juggalo, so there's really no.
What was I gonna be, Derek?
Right.
I
gave up before I finished the sketches, so it's fine. Like I'll dig it up at some point.
I mean, I'm Big Bustin'.
Yeah,
I know that.
Always Big Bustin'. Anyway,
Big Bustin'.
Yo, this podcast's weird this week.
Big Bustin' was gonna be a bully
Keep
for
it going.
sure.
Keep the weirdness going. All right.
So,
what's first on the? What's first? Zach, why don't you take us into our first topic?
Yeah. So our first topic. It's our only other topic left. So it's been Reb's got her hand up.
Do I get to talk about what I've been playing?
Oh, Reb, I thought I asked if everybody had gone.
I just interrupted every one of you to ask questions about what you were playing. I didn't talk about what I was
playing.
I played every game that you all listed.
Reb, please.
I'll be really fast. I know we need to move on.
Stop. No, we have time. We have one time.
No, in addition to Isle of Armor and Fortnite, which are things that I played alongside the rest of our crew, I also dove back into the itch.io bundle for racial justice and equality, which is no longer for sale, but it did make over $8 million. Some really good charities, so fuck yes.
Hell yeah.
That bundle is great. I played a series of small games out of that. So in addition to what I'd already played, which I talked about last week, I played Wide Ocean Big Jacket and what's it called? The thing on the car on the cliff and the deer. Far From Noise. Anyway, This week I played Quench, which is a puzzle game about a herd of elephants that is trying to cross this savanna and reach their ancestral lands in a pilgrimage they make every year. And you play as this bird who is guiding them. It's like this gift from their ancestors who's shown up, and the savannah is like really dangerous. There's like weird smoke beasts and stuff, and your powers are rain, lightning, earthquakes, and wind. And you get like these maps, and there are these, you guide the herd like one area at a time, and they'll walk on their own. But as they go, like, you have to use like lightning to clear off obstacles, or use rain to make the grass lush so they have things to eat as they go. But there are certain areas where, like, when you clear them off, like, you have a limited amount of each power, but there are certain areas where if you clear them off or clear the obstacle, then you'll get more power back. And so it's a little bit strategy oriented as well. You can get yourself stuck and have to restart the map. But it's like this very interesting strategy puzzle game that's sort of about moving these different herds of animals, start picking up more herds of animals across these maps. And it was very relaxing. I liked it a lot. Then I played Campfire Cooking, which is a game where you roast marshmallows on this grid, and there's like little fires, and you want to roast both sides of the marshmallow over the fire exactly once, and you can roll the stick and move it over the fire. But you don't want to hit the fire twice with the same side, and the marshmallows will like bump it. There's like obstacles, there'll be like a log or something, and so you have to like maneuver them around the campfire to like put them over the fire the correct amount of times. It's also a puzzle game. And then I played, last one. It is called Where is Cat? It is a game.
I was watching this on this. This is
It is a game that is made by this person who's like a game developer, like his profession, and he did a game jam where the rule of the game jam was your kids had to participate, like some kids had to help make it. And so the game Where is Cat is this game. It's just like all hand drawn, like very clearly his children drew a lot of these pictures. And your goal is to find the cat in like a series of 6 scenes, and you click on the cat and you move to the next area. But here's the twist. You get to the final area, you find the cat in the barn, and then the cat's in the barn, and the cat's like, hey, bring me some plates. And then you go back through all the same maps, and you find the plates in each map. And then you reach the cat again, and he's like, okay, bring me some forks. And then you do the same for the forks. And then you do this with cupcakes, and then you do this with mice. And at the very end, I was like, oh, this cat's gonna eat all these mice. No, he gets a big cake for himself and little cupcakes for all the mice, and they have a little cake party.
It's
nice.
It was
lovely.
It's like a 5-minute long game, and it made me so happy. These like kids helped make this game, like little kids. It was great.
And what's the name of the game?
Where is Cat?
Where's Cat? I think you said Where's Hat.
Where's Cat? Where's
and
Cat?
so I was like desperately searching IMDb to get a cursed hat joke from what we did in the shadows.
Also, sorry, one other thing about this game is that like the whole time you're playing it, it is playing this music that like, I don't really know how to describe it, but okay, imagine like kind of maybe like an older film, and it's like a very French film, and it's like a woman who's like the idea of like a woman like in black and white, like sitting in a windowsill, like smoking a cigarette kind of lazily, like looking out the window. Imagine the music that would be set to that, the very French music. That's the music for Where is Cat?
Fuck yeah.
It's really
perfect.
Fun.
Like I have a perfect mental image of what this game is from this description.
It's really good.
You really do. Yeah, I guarantee
if you bought that bundle and just want to find a cat for 5 minutes, like go look up Where is Cat. It's great.
I'm sorry. Derek's dog is breaking my fucking heart right now.
Oh.
Yeah, like you can almost hear like the fucking sad dog commercial that everyone used to see. Like,
yeah, like God.
DMCA takedown.
Reb, although I was hoping you.
The dog has a great home. He lives with Derek.
She does.
She lives with Derek.
Yeah. Reb, real quick, can you explain to me the Death Ocean Wall?
In Fortnite?
Yeah, is this just the new storm?
It's gone already.
Zach already explained it. It was
That was like Zach's entire segment, John.
Yeah, during the Fortnite event. So the Fortnite season officially started like yesterday. The new season. There was an event on Monday to preclude the season, and during that event, the current map, the wall, the wall,
the storm wall,
the storm that enclosed, because you played a battle royale before, you know what the storm is. Yeah. Okay. When it encloses on you, it was just a giant wall of water. That's what it was.
But it's gone now. I thought it was a permanent.
But now the map is flooded. Like the idea being that this massive wall of water came like exploded on the map and drowned everything.
I misunderstood. I thought it was like a replacement for the storm or something. Okay, never mind.
It was for like.
No, I meant like permanently.
No. But
yeah, I thought it was like permanently replacing the storm.
They added a lot of wind turbines, and that seems pretty hypocritical coming from a man who said they want to keep politics out of games, Tim Sweeney. What do you really mean, Tim Sweeney? I need to stop talking because I've had too much rum.
All right. So Zach, apologies for talking a lot this last segment. So
no.
Since Zach is in his cups. We should move on to there were a lot of video game events this last week.
Yeah,
there were.
Like just a lot, just very many. There was the Guerrilla Collective and the PC Gaming Show and the Future Games Showcase all back to back over the weekend, and then we actually just like a couple hours ago had EA Play. Were there any more? There's a bunch of IGN stuff going on too.
Did you mention the Guerrilla?
Yes, that was the first one I said.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Didn't Games Radar sponsor one of them? Did you say that one too?
That was Future, I think.
Yeah,
that was Future
right.
Games, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there were a lot of video games, and so we thought, rather than like trying to go show by show, because I think some of us didn't watch them. And then there's the Pokemon showcase as well. That was a big one too.
Right.
It's the biggest one.
We thought about maybe going in like a circle and sort of like highlighting a couple games that we saw that we want to talk about. Does anyone want to start? Does anyone feel the spirit moving them?
I feel the spirit within me.
Oh shit, Derek.
Pokemon fucking Snap.
Pokemon fucking Snap.
Pokemon fucking Snap. Let's fucking go.
Derek, I know this is your segment. Can I just say, like, if
Yes.
Cam was here, he would confirm it. Cam and I do like a 10-minute morning walk every morning where we just do a loop around the neighborhood, like just stretch. And I went and we were out on like the busy street that like runs near our neighborhood, and we were talking about this Pokemon thing that was going to happen in like 30 minutes. And I was like, man, I know they're not going to do it, but I really want a Pokemon Snap. I love Pokemon Snap. And then there was kind of an awkward pause, and then I looked out the street and I said, I love Pokemon Snap! And I yelled it really loud for everyone to hear, and then we got Pokemon Snap. So I did it. I summoned Pokemon Snap.
You did, and I thank you.
Reb, if you could go out tomorrow and scream, I love Metroid Prime Trilogy.
No, it's not true. It has to be sincere. It has to come from the heart.
Okay, fine, Reb. Scream, I love Final Fantasy VI.
Why would I do that? What's that going to give me?
It's going to give you Final Fantasy VI on Twitch.
Reb, go
Derek,
out.
tell me about
Go
Pokemon
out
Snap.
and yell that we'll win the election in November, so I can feel better.
Derek, tell me about Pokemon Snap.
Pokemon Snap is the fucking best N64 game ever made. Without even a goddamn question. You get in a goofy 3-wheeled basket. You are the doinkiest motherfucker in the entire... Todd Snap is such a dweeb that even middle school Derek
I forgot his name was Todd Snap!
Even middle school Derek was beating him up and taking his fucking lunch money, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Pokemon Snap.
No bullying.
Yeah, well, I didn't say I was a good kid. But you get in this 3-wheeled basket and you throw apples and tear gas at Pokemon in order to photograph them better. I'm being very reductive, but it's such a good game. And you go through these different courses and you take pictures of Pokemon and the different things you do with the like pester balls and the food and different things in the environment you interact with can set up. So like in the original game, if you wanted a picture of a Gyarados, there's no Gyarados anywhere. You had to find the right Magikarp and knock it into like a whirlpool or something with an apple. So that meant like aiming and catching it in midair and just clunking him into the right spot. And then he would show up later as a Gyarados. Stuff like that. Like you would have to like interact with the levels and make things happen. You could make Pikachu surf if you led him to a surfboard, and then like surfing Pikachu is worth more points. Pokemon Snap is just good. And they're making a new Pokemon Snap, and it's called New Pokemon Snap because don't fuck with a good thing. And you are still in a goofy 3-wheeled basket. It's the exact same. It's a picnic. It's a metal picnic basket with 3 wheels. Drives on a little road. You get your camera. Presumably, you get your bag of apples and your bag of tear gas pellets. We're gonna need them.
Change that. I hope they change that. They're literally called pester balls.
Yeah, and they make pester
balls. Yes,
it's not my favorite thing.
They're meant to annoy. I hope I assume they'll make that something.
Somebody's gonna need. Look, they're gonna need to do something with all the tear gas pellets once we abolish the police. So,
Jeez, yeah.
But yeah,
throw them at Pokemon.
Welcome to the weekly.
It's a new Pokemon Snap, and we're gonna take new pictures of Pokemon, and it is a basically non-violent game. Other than you throwing stinky balls at people sometimes to make them upset a little bit. But I just love it. I love it.
Spheres,
yeah.
I can see Zach is pinching, like Zach is trying not to say anything. He's trying so hard.
I want to hear from Justin. No, you should. Justin, yes.
So I'm very excited about Pokemon Snap. This is kind of like the one game that has been announced this week that I have very, very strong feelings about. But I'm super excited because one, I've been asking for a new Pokemon Snap for like 20 years now because I didn't have an N64 when I was a kid, so I would only play it at Blockbuster on that weird display that you would go to print out your pictures if you had a memory card, but you could also play like a time-limited demo of the first level or something. Like, I played it at friends' houses. I have played the whole game, but like, I didn't have it and I wanted it. And that was like when I was really into Pokemon at the time. So I'm so excited we're getting another one. But like, the whole concept of like Pokemon Snap and like photography games, especially with like wildlife, is something I've been hoping becomes a bigger thing. And not many people have really done it. There was that one PS3 game, Africa, from Sony that was kind of the same thing, but it wasn't. Like, it was, I mean, I think it was an educational game, but like, I'd really like more games like this, so I'm really excited to see it coming back. And also, just on a personal note, like, the mainline Pokemon games have simultaneously not evolved in a way that's appealing to me, but also evolved in ways that feel very complex, like, for me to jump back into. Like, the writing is still very much like for children, which would drive me crazy, but like, there's a lot of new mechanics and stuff and new Pokemon that I would just be totally lost. So like, a Snap game is like the perfect new Pokemon game to get me excited for a new Pokemon game. So I'm super pumped for this game. Like, I'm just really excited, and it's the first time like there's been one of these announcements from Nintendo that everybody kind of loses it for that has really struck with me in a while. So like, that's been fun to be able to join in on all that. So I'm excited. John.
I do like. I love Pokemon Snap. Also, I do. It's the only Pokemon game I played growing up. But until but what I do hope that they add a little more substance, because I remember it being very short. Like I finished the game on N64 in like an hour. Like it was over very quickly. And I imagine that there'll be something of more substance here. But I think it also needs to be pointed out just how beautiful this game is. Like it's legit one of the most beautiful games I have seen running on the Switch. Like
it's very colorful.
I was gonna say, I know this is a hot take, but it feels like this is like one of the first, like, undeniably, like, I'm not saying there's not other Switch games that have a great art style. I'm saying like visual fidelity. It feels like one of the is it considered first party since Bandai Namco's making it? I don't know. Either way, it's weird to see a very good-looking game on Switch. Like, and I know that sounds meaner than I mean it to be. It just looks great. The visuals were surprisingly solid for me, and I was impressed. It looks cool.
I love Pokemon Snap. I love Pokemon Snap.
It looks very good.
I'm sorry. I can't like infuse this enough with my energy because you all have already said like many of the things I wanted to say about Pokemon Snap, and this is also Derek's segment. But I just want to add that, like, I think there has definitely been a renewed appreciation for this sort of idea of Pokemon, not just like as this turn-based RPG thing that you throw out in battle, right? Like Detective Pikachu. One of the things that I love the most about that movie was that city scene when it's like backed up and you just saw all these Pokemon just coexisting with humans and like just living their damn lives, right? Like, if Pokemon were real, most of them would just like, kind of go about, like, most of them wouldn't battle, like they would just sort of do their thing. And this is sort of the reverse of that. This is sort of them all in their natural habitat, just chilling, like hanging out and doing whatever Pokemon things they felt like doing. And like I loved seeing and you not disturbing them specifically. Like yeah, there's like pester balls and you can throw apples and stuff, but I think the idea is mostly that you're just sort of going through on this preset track and like watching Pokemon and seeing how they behave and what they do for the purpose of understanding behavior better. I love that. It's like very much like it's almost a conservationist attitude. And it's like peaceful and chill and it's pretty, and you get to see Pokemon do like in this sort of like imagined realm. Like when I was a kid, I remember being like 9 or 10 and playing Pokemon with my friends. Would run around the backyard and we'd like have Pokemon battles and stuff. Like that's what we do. And in our heads, it like looked like this real thing. Like we're imagining like the Squirtle that was like following us around or stuff. And this is very much like the idea that I had in my head then of like Pokemon splashing through the water and flying through the trees. Love that. I love Pokemon Snap. I love it.
It's so nice to see.
Did it. I can't believe they fucking did it. I thought this was a joke. I thought there was no way. That trailer, it came on, and it's like this Vivillon and the Bouffalant like walking through the field, and I'm looking at that, and there's a moment where I was like, that looks like it actually could be Pokemon Snap. And then I'm like, there's no fucking way. This is something else. I don't know what it is. It's not Pokemon Snap. And then the moment where Pikachu is on the beach with the apple, I was like, fucking Pokemon Snap.
It's like they've been ignoring how popular Pokemon Snap is and how loved it is for ages for no good reason, which is the Nintendo way. Let's be real. But
yeah.
Anyway, I want to be able to throw an apple directly into a Wailord's blowhole and upset it.
That's bad.
That sounds cruel, but I'll allow it.
Wailord is in the game.
Yeah.
We saw him. Big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big lad. Yeah.
It's a big target for golf balls and apples. That's all I'm saying.
Zach, how big? How big, Zach?
That big.
What? Oh, and they also at the Pokemon conference, Derek, they announced that there's another Pokemon conference happening next week, where they've got a big announcement.
Presumably, so it's got to be big enough that they wanted it separate from everything else.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's talking about like a very early talking about something next year.
Right.
Like so the next big game.
My theory is that it is going to be the next mainline game. And they normally wouldn't announce it quite this early, but I would assume that the reason they're doing it is because they know they're not doing a main this year. They're doing DLC instead.
And they want to let people know that it's coming.
Yeah, and so, I mean, the two predominant theories right now are Sinnoh remakes, Gen 4, or Let's Go Johto. Those are the two. I don't know which one it would be. I do not think they are going to make a new generation.
No.
Like, they usually balance it, right? And Switch games are going to take longer to make.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I think Let's Go... I think another Let's Go game makes sense, Reb. Because again, like I think they're moving away from annual. I mean, they're obviously moving away from annual releases of new games, and it seems like the mainline Pokemon games are going to follow the DLC route now. So yeah, like this is clearly a remake of some kind.
We'll see.
Derek, what did you say that Derek, what did you say you thought it was?
No, I just think it's their next mainline game. I agree. I do not think it is a like new generation because they always get multiple games out of a generation.
Right.
I think that they're getting the opportunity to take more time on it than they otherwise would have, thanks to the this being kind of an off year for mainline games. I'm much more likely to believe that it's a traditional Pokemon game than that it's a Let's Go type entry. But we'll see.
Reb, you're a big Pokemon fan also. Do you have a preference as to what you hope this is?
It's actually hard. I know people in the chat are saying they didn't like Let's Go. I actually did like Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. Like I thought they were a wonderful like introduction to Pokemon, especially for young people, and I enjoyed them for what they were. I don't need a lot of complex Pokemon. I just like seeing the Pokemon, honestly. I think I would err on the side of Let's Go Johto because Johto is my favorite. Like Gen 2 is my favorite. I would love a remake of that. I also have a very soft spot in my heart, and I could go on for hours about how much Chris, the female character from Crystal, and how they did her dirty in Heart Gold and Soul Silver by replacing her with someone else, even though Chris is cool as shit. But that's like neither here nor there. I do think that I wouldn't be upset if they said Sinnoh remake. Gen 4 is actually my least favorite generation of Pokemon. That said, I think that most of the remakes they have done are really, really good and really, like, Heart Gold and Soul Silver were fantastic. I loved Omega Alpha Sapphire. I would love to see Sinnoh get this treatment because I think it would make me fall in love with Farm. So I honestly, it's gonna be a new Pokemon game. Like, I don't fucking care. I just love Pokemon. I'll play whatever you throw at me, man. Any Pokemon. I'm getting Pokemon Snap. I'm satisfied for like the next 5 years, folks.
What else did they also announced that cafe game, that restaurant game, which I am actually like, despite my Overcooked memories, I'm really excited about that.
It's not anything like that, right? Like
no, it's not. But
I hope it's exactly like Overcooked because then John will hate it.
Thank you, Derek.
I thought the aesthetics of it were really nice. I like the kind of drawn style of it. But it, to me, again, I didn't see any trailers. I saw this in post. The screenshots reminded me of like almost Pokemon Puzzle League from N64 era. Is that accurate to people who actually saw it? Am I the only one who played Pokemon Puzzle League on N64?
You might have been.
I never played it.
No, I know what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about, Pokemon Puzzle League, but I don't know. I didn't hear about this game, so I don't have a frame of reference. What's it called? Let me Google it real quick.
Cafe.
What's this called?
Nintendo.
Pokemon Cafe,
yeah.
right?
Pokemon Cafe.
Pokemon Cafe, yeah.
Okay.
While Justin's looking at that, Reb, what was the next? What was the conference after the Pokemon one? Was it Gorilla that came next?
No, I want to go back to Derek, who brought up Pokemon Snap because it was one of the games you wanted to mention, and I want to make sure that Derek has had a chance to mention all of the games.
Okay.
Pokemon Snap is the thing. I mean, there's one other thing out of this entire week that I thought was like a really for me announcement, but I also know someone else is going to talk about it, so I'm good.
Go ahead.
The Star Wars Squadrons. If anyone here wants to talk about Star Wars Squadrons, I will wait for you, because I obviously do not want to take up the two coolest games that were talked about in this last week.
I mean, I
am I the only person who gives a shit?
Someone talk about Star Wars Squadrons, Derek.
I can talk about Squadrons. You want me to just take it then?
Yeah, take it.
Because that's the only game I really want to talk about.
Same.
So, I'm kind of like cautiously optimistic for this game. I think it looks really cool, but like so the GameCube was like the first game console I was allowed to own as a child in my home. My mom didn't like video games, but that was the first one. And I played Rogue Leader on the GameCube religiously. Like the two games I got were Rogue Leader and Smash Brothers Melee for launch. Pretty good couple of games, I would say. But
like if you have to be limited to 2 GameCube games, those aren't bad.
But I love that game. So I'm really hoping Squadrons can kind of channel some of that energy with it, as well as like the old like X-Wing and TIE Fighter games. I was horrible at those, but I did try playing them on my uncle's computer with a flight stick and crashed repeatedly. But I do have nostalgia for those as well. So like it kind of seems like Squadrons is kind of like a mix of all of those things. So I'm excited to see how it is. Also, I really want to try out the VR support. The idea of being able to look around, a cockpit in an actual X-Wing or TIE Fighter, super exciting to me. Like that's the sort of thing that I've wanted from VR for a while. And we got like a 7-minute long like thing included with the first Battlefront or something. So like this is going to be a full game. They said it fully supports VR, which is super cool.
That would be Vomit City for me though, man. Like I wouldn't be able to handle that. No way.
One time I was at an event. It was the reveal event for press Valve Index. Brought a bunch of third parties in. Had no VR there.
Hey Reb, sorry, really quick. Your mic, it's the game got turned down too low before the show. Just talk a little louder than you normally would. Sorry, it's just Discord's cutting you
I already
off.
talk really loud. Okay.
That's perfect.
One time I was at this event for the showing off the Valve Index to the press before it was out, and they brought a bunch of third parties in with VR, and one of them was No Man's Sky VR before it was out. And I put that thing on. I was having so much fun, and I was like, running around and throwing shit around the planet and mining ore and doing No Man's Sky shit. And they're like, "You want to get in the spaceship?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to get in the spaceship." And I got in the spaceship and I went up into space and it was great. And then I was like, "I'm gonna do a little flippity do," and I did a little flippity do. And don't do a flippity do. No, I had to like sit down on the floor in the middle of the demo room and close my eyes because I still had the headset on and it was like tight. And I'm like, no, don't do that, no.
That is the best quote we've had on this podcast.
Don't do a flippity do.
Don't do a flippity do. Reb Valentine.
Don't do it. It's bad.
You know what? Like you could apply that to just so many situations in life. Like stop somebody from doing something. Hey, don't do a flippity do.
I'm gonna fucking tell you that, John. Don't do a flippity do.
I don't do a flippity. I would never do a flippity do.
So listen, Star Wars Squadrons, like Justin was saying.
The first thing I would do is a flippity do.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I'm doing.
If I were in VR, I would simply not do a flippity do.
R.I.P. to John, but I'm different.
Stupid.
I do just really quickly want to touch on some of the weird business angle sides of Star Wars Squadron. So I don't know, Justin, how much you said about it, but it will have a single player campaign component. But the core of the game is 5v5 dogfighting in space, which is
that
concept.
That was kind of like the next thing I wanted to say about it. Is just
I'm sorry,
I'm
I didn't mean to
so bad at. No, I just quick comment. I'm so bad at these games. It bums me out that it's pretty heavily multiplayer leaning because I'm horrible at these types of games. I enjoy them, but I'm really bad at controlling them. Thankfully, it is not a full-price game, so I'll be able to enjoy the campaign content. But yeah, that is kind of a bummer for me personally. So go ahead, Zach.
No, I mean, you said a lot of what I would say too, which is like, so 5v5 was kind of a surprising take as like that being the meat and potatoes of the game. The other thing that a lot of people liked was that they said up front no microtransactions, which has kind of plagued the EA Star Wars IP since that partnership started like earlier this gen. The other thing is like their other stance that they have been outright about was like, this is not a live service game. Like this game is, we built this experience for you. It's $40, like you said, Justin. And once you have it, that's what you've got. I'm sure there will be updates if there's like stabilities or bug issues, but they have said like actively, like we are not adding new maps. You're not adding new characters. You're not adding new stuff. Like what you see is what you get. And to me, that's a little bit weird considering it's coming around so close to next gen. And they haven't announced next gen ports or next gen versions. But also I think that's kind of, when you take a step back, that's kind of what you'd expect at the turn of a generation, right? Like there are a lot of games that just need to come out because they were like slated to come out this gen and maybe they got bumped a little bit. It's weird. Like I guess it's weird to see EA up front be like, yo, this game is one and done, friends. It's $40 and like come in, have some fun while you're here, but like nobody's gonna be here in 6 months. Like that's kind of the vibe to me. It's like this game's gonna be fun. It might be great. I'm sure there's a ton of super talented devs on the team, but it seems like it's a game where they're just gonna kind of just throw it out there.
Well, I mean, it's not a living game, and it's a $40 game. And Zach, you were actually the one who postulated that it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was you that postulated in the DM that it was not going to come to next gen systems. Like,
I mean, they've been weird about it, right? Like, so it's coming out October 2nd, which is like dancing around the next gen window.
Yeah.
It's weird. EA's entire conference, except for the stuff that they showed that was in like pre-production, didn't mention next gen at all. Like stuff that clearly is going to get like next gen versions and stuff, like even like Madden and FIFA and stuff, which they've spoken about next gen versions of those games. Like they didn't mention next gen at all, except for the stuff that was in pre-production, which is just a weird thing I noticed at the conference in general.
You know, if they, I mean, it's a $40 game. It's not a living game. There's not going to be any DLC or expansions or microtransactions. I don't see the point of bringing it to next gen. So I tend to believe that it probably won't come, which is a little weird, right, guys? Like it's launching awfully close to like it wouldn't be weird to me if it wasn't so close to the launch of the next gen.
I don't think that it's like, I mean, let's be real. It's not like the PlayStation 5 is going to come out and then the PlayStation 4 is going to stop existing. It's going to be a while before the majority of the user base has moved over. So
I know, but
and also like we know from like I think it was Eurogamer that reported on leaked some dev documentation that any game shipping after like mid-July on PlayStation has to support the native mode on PS5. I imagine Microsoft has a very similar stipulation. So like, I mean, yeah, these might not be like fully ray traced versions or something like that, but like I imagine these will it'll probably get, higher frame rate, higher resolution or something on next gen, not just like not coming.
Bustin'?
Hello?
Justin?
Yeah,
I lost my mind.
Oh, you finished your thought.
I finished talking and nobody said
like
anything.
Still
no,
talking.
there's this weird sound delay there. That was really strange.
It's not his sound, it's his webcam. Justin's webcam always has this weird laggy kind of like... We need to get you a new webcam at some point when they exist again to purchase. But yeah, that's...
I'll also need to find a place to put it. That's going to be...
We'll find you a place.
Clip it on your laptop.
Anyway, sorry, I was done with what I was saying. Okay. So if somebody else wants to say something, go right ahead.
Justin did a flippity-doo.
Yeah. Look, I have very fond memories of the Rogue Squadron games in particular. Star Wars Squadrons as a $40, like, I'm probably, since I do not play like anything multiplayer for the most part, I'll end up grabbing it on a discount at some point whenever it goes on sale, but like, it'll be worth it just to relive the idea of a next-gen, current-gen, I guess, Rogue Squadron kind of game. Because it's not like there's any way to play the old Rogue Squadron games at this point unless you want to shell out stupid amounts of money for a physical GameCube copy of 2 or 3. And there's
actually a physical game copy in my local used game store for $10. That
is irresponsible of them. I also don't have a working GameCube or anything, so like not good for me. But anyway, so yeah, I'm excited and I want to see what they do. I hope there's at least one dumb thing in there. Like, one of my favorite things about the old Rogue Squadron games is the fact that you could unlock, like, an old Cadillac or whatever it was and just fly the car.
Yeah.
I did see that one of the cosmetics was a Funko Pop looking Wookiee.
I hate that.
Sit on your car.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that one bit.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Funko Pops. You continue to be a fucking plague on everything resembling pop culture.
All right, what conference came now? What else?
We're not doing conferences in order.
What do you like that was talked about that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah, pick a game. Any game.
Oh, no, I was just talking. I didn't mean what conference. I meant more like what game. I didn't see anything at the EA conference today that really got me excited. Like, I already knew about Squadrons. So, that's fine. I don't care about EA Sports.
Do you care about
Apex?
Skate? Bronson
Skate 4
exists. And Bronson is like upset that we're not talking about Skate, but I don't
There's
care
nothing
about
to say about
Skate. Not Skate 4 at all.
There is nothing to say about it.
It's going to be great,
it.
but
It's
we
real.
know nothing. But I'm happy.
Real.
I'm happy it's fucking real.
Sure, I'm glad that people are happy about it.
I just love that they're like, we're making this game to shut everyone up and have everyone stop bugging us about another Skate game. You fuckers have bugged us for years. Here's your goddamn Skate game. Leave us alone.
You know what we didn't see was anything fucking BioWare.
Oh, yeah.
We got a little footage of presumably Dragon Age 4. But...
I am very surprised we have not seen Mass Effect. We know Mass Effect Trilogy exists, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing that's
it's
real,
like Metroid Prime
It's
Trilogy. It's real.
Someone made it.
But EA has what's their track record on how good their ports are gonna be with the remaster?
It's gonna be fucking awful.
They've got their 7 games coming to the Switch this year. So two of them, one of them is Burnout Paradise, the other one is Apex Legends. So do we think that one of them is Sims 4?
It has to be, right?
It has to be. That game could run on.
And that game is
coming to a new
Switch.
platform, and I was ready for them to say Switch, and they said Steam, and I was like, this is a
not
different
platform,
store.
Bitches.
You just brought it to a different. You just gave people another way to pay you for Sims 4 on the computer.
Exactly, on the PC. So one of them is definitely Mass Effect Trilogy, right?
No, that's not coming to Switch.
Well, what the fuck?
It might not come to Switch at first. The rumor is it might not come to Switch at first, but that means it could still be within this 12-month time frame.
Yeah, but right now the wording is there are no plans to bring it to
EA's
Switch.
going to cancel half the games they have planned for Switch anyway, because EA cannot get it up at night if it isn't screwing over Nintendo.
Here's a hot prediction, though.
Okay.
Dragon Age Origins port coming to Switch.
Nope.
I think it's going to happen.
Nope.
I think you're going to see a Dragon Age game on Switch.
Nope.
Yep. Absolutely.
Not going to happen.
How much you want to bet?
I don't have any money to bet.
I have no
I'm
money.
very broke.
I have zero money.
John, how well have these bets gone for you?
Oh no!
I just let's look at the track record.
So I actually won my bet against Anthony with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 coming out in 2017.
John,
I'll have you
I've already made you play Neptunia. There's not much more I can do to you.
Okay, but real talk. So there's still like several games left. What do we think? Do we think like multiple of these are going to be EA Sports titles, right?
Probably.
Like,
Yeah.
Also,
Probably.
I mean, we should
FIFA and Madden are
FIFA,
gonna
Madden,
they're gonna be on Switch in some capacity.
But also, like, the 3 fucking indies they showed today are probably all getting ports.
Oh,
right?
you know what? You're absolutely right. Actually,
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna be. That's gonna be the rest of it. There's. No... Okay,
And I can see like some of the older,
I can't think of anything
like
else,
Yosef Fares
honestly.
games, like Brothers or A Way Out, or like A Way Out would actually be kind of cool on Switch, especially if they found a way to make it work with like with single Joy-Con for each person. That'd be cool.
What's wild to me is that like, I joke, haha, bringing everything to Switch, but no Mass Effect trilogy on Switch seems like a huge misstep.
No Mass Effect trilogy at all seems like a pretty.
Yeah, that's a misstep that they've been making pretty
John, we're
consistently
still at
for
the
a
point
long
where
time.
It doesn't even exist. Like.
I mean, I'm sure it exists now. It just like, I mean, it's the Switch has a higher sales trajectory than the Xbox or the PS4. So
you're talking about one of the most impactful and beloved franchises of its entire generation. One of the most notable franchises currently in gaming, and the only way to play it is through the only good way to play it is through Xbox One's backwards compatibility.
Yeah, well, I mean, EA just doesn't do remasters. Period. I mean, they just don't.
It's so frustrating to me that they don't do remasters, and because like they have, especially from last generation, like they had so much good stuff, and I would happily pay for a Mass Effect collection, a Dragon Age collection, a Dead Space collection, a Bad Company remaster. Like I would pay good money for all of those immediately as soon as they got released.
Would be great. I loved Bad Company. Like that was one of the few first-person shooters I adored. Like Derek.
Yo, I know what's gonna happen. It just came to my mind. They're gonna put Titanfall 1 on the Switch.
Phil Spencer gives them exclusivity, but then the monkey's paw, it's the Xbox 360.
Yes, of course it is. Of course
it would have to be.
That didn't have any of the AI stuff.
And it runs half as well, despite Switch being more powerful.
All joking aside, like I mean, Apex Legends on Switch is huge, and so is crossplay. Like, I mean, that is massive. And like, I do have questions about how Apex is going to run on Switch. I doubt it'll run incredibly well, but at least it'll be there. So it wouldn't be my first choice of platform to play it on. But the crossplay thing is a much bigger deal to me, in my opinion. Reb.
Go ahead, Reb.
No. Keep talking about this.
Oh no! That's all I wanted to say.
I got enthusiastic, and I want to go next, but I want you to finish this conversation first.
I was just gonna say that I think the big takeaway from today was that they showed some indies which were cool, but also I think the big takeaway is that EA is gonna take crossplay more seriously next gen. That's it. Just crossplay seems cool on EA stuff going forward. That's
I think it's gonna be a lot more standard at the beginning of this gen.
Welcome to 2018, EA. Yeah. Anyway, Reb.
Okay, so we're like running short on time, so I'm just gonna list off a bunch of indies that I saw that I like. Genesis Noir, it's a film noir game with jazz music that's about blowing up the sun. Seems great, love that. Lake, which is a game about being a mail lady for 2 weeks. Fuck yes. Here for the U.S. Postal Service. Fuck the cops. Postal Service? Yes.
Fuck
good.
Yeah.
Postal Service, we support. Let's see, what else? There was a new trailer for Ooblets. I believe we are getting some sort of early access thing coming out in the next couple months or so. Ooblets, super excited about that. Looks great. What else did I see? There was a game, can someone remember, what was the game? It was during, I think, Guerrilla Collective, where you're like a skeleton, but like a cowboy skeleton? What was that?
West of Dead?
West of Dead? Now? When is that out?
Yeah, it came out today. Yep, West of Dead.
Okay, that looked great. 100 Days is a winemaking sim. Super here for that. Like, winemaking, great. Seems chill. I don't know what else. Like, I'm just sort of rattle off some Guerrilla Collective games that look great. I put a bunch of stuff on my wish list, and I didn't think to. I opened my mouth before I opened my wish list, which was a really stupid. Did anyone else watch the Guerrilla Collective? Was I the only one who did that?
I didn't.
I thought, I mean, this is not like related.
I wasn't sure what it was, to be honest.
So this is not like relating games that I like. Sorry, I'm stalling for time while I open up my wish list like a fucking moron.
Here, if you need to stall for time, I'm gonna break open my monster to get me through the night.
Fuck yeah, rip that shit.
I just got it open now.
Rip
okay,
it
so
and rip it, big man.
I wish listed Carto, which is a game about this little girl who's like an explorer, and like you move around the world by like you have this map, and you can like rotate pieces on the map, and it'll connect and open up new areas. It looked really, really good. I think Floppy Nights was part of the Guerrilla Collective. I played a demo of that at East, and I've talked about Floppy Nights before. It looks really good. No Place for Bravery looked great. Had a really cool score. I don't even remember what was going on about that, but I wish listed it, so it looked great. Oh, I saw there was a trailer for Haven, which is that cool game about like the two people who are in a relationship and they go to a planet to escape like I think a shitty government or something, and they like fly around and they like I love that because I did an interview with the game makers about it. And they basically told me that it's a really French game. It's a French studio. And the reason why it's a French game is because it's about eating and talking and kissing and drinking. And fuck yeah, honestly. And then, is that everything? Oh yeah, I also added a game to my wish list called Night Call, which looked like, if you heard about Neocab last year, it looked a lot like Neocab, but with a murder
Night Call
mystery.
came out. Yeah, Night Call's out. I played it last summer on. It came out. It came out on Windows and X. No, maybe just Windows. Like it was in Game Pass, like day and date last year in August.
It was on Microsoft Store. I don't think it was on.
Yeah.
Is it good?
I didn't buy it, and I played it.
Good shit.
It's good. It's good.
Okay. Anyway, those are all the games that I saw that looked really good. I do think that there was sort of a disadvantage to the fact that, so like normally the indies are sort of sprinkled around a long week of E3 showcases, and you sort of get them between the big showcases. And this time there were basically, I mean, PC Gaming Show isn't technically an indie showcase, but it kind of turns into one after like the first 30 minutes. And that's fine. I love indie games. I love them with all my heart. You will never hear me say a bad word about indies, but I think having 3 like hour-plus long indie showcases back-to-back on a Saturday did not do a lot of them favors, especially the ones. Anyway.
Derek has a migraine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You're right. I'll make it. I'm seeing kaleidoscopes when I shut my eyes.
I'm sorry, buddy.
That's fine.
Just don't close them. Just keep them wide open, buddy.
Did we want to keep your eyes wide open, Derek? Did we want to go ahead and start shutting down?
Does anyone have any other games from this week that they really want to shout out?
Yeah, there was one game. I actually played a little bit of it in early access because it launched. Was Among Trees, which I think was shown at Guerrilla Collective. Did you all see this game?
I saw it. I haven't played it though. I'm curious.
Okay, so
tell me about it.
So it's like, this is a really, really, I hate when people do this, and I'm going to do it anyway. It has a very similar aesthetic to something like Firewatch, but a lot more blues rather than orange hues. And it is, but it's kind of a survival game in the woods, which like everyone has fucking played, but think Firewatch aesthetics mixed with like survival mechanics, but like a lot less intense. And you're just kind of wandering around, like chopping down trees, and like it's really pretty, and it has a designated screenshot button that automatically, when you take a screenshot, like when you press the hotkey for it, it wipes the HUD for a second, so it can take this clean screenshot. And it's really cute, and like it's really fun, and you kind of just have your own little cabin, and like rather than like trying to, like, you do have hunger and like how tired you are and that sort of thing, but rather than like, it doesn't feel like it's like hang on to life. It's like, how can you really thrive in this environment? And also like trust your, like, it doesn't like you can craft a map or a compass, which is helpful, but also a lot of it is like actually genuinely learning to like read your environment and like say, okay, yesterday I walked to this rock. Let's see if I can go a little bit further today when I'm looking for my supplies. And it's really cool. It's an early access title on, I think it's exclusive to Epic's launcher right now. But I think I got it for like $6 because I had a $10 off Tim Sweeney coupon. So that's pretty cool.
10 Sweeney bucks.
10 Sweeney bucks.
He personally delivered it to you.
It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. I've been eyeing that.
Do it. I bet they'll add co-op, and then we can survive together.
So I guess we've got to talk about the new stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Reb, you want to start?
Reb.
Okay, I wasn't.
Yeah,
sure
this
if
is
that's
you,
what
Reb.
saying. Yeah. So I've got an announcement. I didn't actually like write out a statement. so it feels a little weird to say that. I'm actually, this is my second to last podcast with SDGC as an official member of the cast. I'm leaving. I have absolutely adored my. It's been wonderful. I started doing this specifically. I mean, I'd been on the show as a guest a few times, and it was like really fun, and I loved the group, so that was like the main core of it. But there was also sort of kind of a specific need as a person. I had started at games industry a few months before that, and was doing business news all day, and it was very serious. And as people know, that's very much a conflict of personality. I wanted to do some more goofy, fun, lighthearted, just shoot the shit about games, and that was here. And I have this wonderful group of friends who have been there for me and have been wonderful throughout it all. It's been absolutely lovely. But I feel that I am at a point where I'm ready to move on to do something that is entirely mine. 100% my own project. So I don't have anything specific to announce about it right now. I am planning on making July 2nd my last show. It would have been next week, but I'm off the show next week. I have. But July 2nd, I will be on the show. It's going to be my show as an official member of the cast. I'm still staying on the Discord. If you're part of the community, I'm still going to be in charge of the Discord, so that's like not changing. I'm still going to be around. I'm not vanishing. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving the community. I'm just not going to be a regular on the show anymore.
And I'm sure we'll have you on as a guest whenever you want to come on, Reb. So, of course.
But the main thing is I'm working on, there's two projects that I'm working on. One of them is Games Industry Not Biz related, which technically wouldn't conflict, but it is still a podcast project. That one, I don't know when it's going to be officially announced, but it's coming fairly soon. I have episodes recorded of that one already. It's just sort of getting together some loose together so I can actually run. But the other thing that is entirely mine and unrelated to any of my other work things, I'm hoping I will have something to announce on July 2nd during the final show on just if you like audio podcasts, if you like any of my written interviews that I do with especially indie developers, and if you like food, probably maybe like good. So yeah, that's the thing. Thank you all so much for everything. We can get sappy on this, but yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, and then in addition to Reb, I also wanted to announce, partially on his behalf, Matty G, who y'all might be aware of. He does a ton of our pre-recorded content that we release. He does a lot of that, and then he also has a new blog called Quest Blog that y'all should follow on Twitter. Matty is also going to be departing SDGC on July 2nd. Similar to Reb, it was just a point where everyone has had a lot of fun making content together, but it was time, just like Reb, Maddie wanted to focus on Questlog, and that's where he'll be.
Yeah. Maddie's kind of, and I think it's okay for me to say this too. Maddie has not been on the show in a while. He's had other stuff going on, and so this is probably not like a super surprising announcement. This is more of a since there is sort of a departure date for other people, he's kind of ready to sort of make it official. Go do it.
Right.
So, but he will be on the show on the 2nd with us.
Yeah.
I do highly recommend you guys check out Questlog.
Please.
His writing is really good, and he has said to me that he thinks that writing is kind of a better way for him to express some of his opinions. So please check it out, because I think Maddie is a really insightful, great writer, and I think he's going to be doing a lot of stuff with that.
DLC. He wrote a really good thing about the Pokemon DLC today.
So check out Questlog.
And then lastly, I wanted to announce that also on July 2nd, it will also be my last podcast.
Everybody's leaving!
Yeah, everyone out of the pool. Everyone out of the pool, except it's just 3 people. So similarly, it honestly was just something that 2020 has just been a long, hard year for everyone in different ways. And love SDGC, love making podcasts, especially love the community. Love people constantly challenging me to do better and think harder, and that's been great. But I'm also just fucking tired. And I'm out of juice, and I just need some time. So I will also be leaving SDGC. Like Reb, I will be in the Discord. I will still be on Twitter. I will be around the places you see me, except for Thursday night shows. But of course, you might see me in chat as a fan of SCGC. I joined in 2018.
Yeah, it's a couple of years.
Yeah, almost 2.5 years. I think 2.5 years now. So it's been really cool to watch the show change, and it feels like there's been a trajectory in terms of like production value and thoughtfulness, and I'm excited, even with my departure, to see you guys keep pursuing that direction, and keep doing better, thinking harder, and just finding ways to highlight people who sometimes don't get a platform. And I'm excited to see what y'all do next. So thank you for having me for so long, and also thanks to the community for letting me talk and be weird and have fun with y'all. It's been good.
We love you, man.
Well,
July 2nd is going to be fun, by the way. It's going to be our last show, but
this
we're
is
not
gonna
having
be
a
somber.
fucking sob fest. We are going to, I don't know what we're going to do yet.
Margaritas?
Zach and I are going to pick a bunch of shit we want to talk about. I don't even know what it's going to be about, but like my stipulation was that whatever our last show was going to be, it was going to be just a bunch of goofy, fun nonsense. So I hope it's a party, not a funeral. I hope y'all, like, we're not leaving. We're not dead. Like, we're just not going to do the Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, if you still want to talk to any of them, they'll be in the SDGC Discord. I mean, Red is still running the thing, so
they'll still exist on Twitter and all the other places. May I?
And we really want to. Oh, sorry, Derek.
You go ahead, Justin. I'll pick up when you're done.
And we really want to emphasize that no one's leaving on bad terms or anything.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
It just was the timing just kind of lined up for several people to go in some different directions. So, I'm really excited to see what all three of them do in the future. And I hope all of you that listen to our show keep following them and their work, because I think they do great stuff. So
and they're good
we're
friends.
not dying.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
No one's dying. We're gonna have fun. So
we're all dying very, very slowly. All right.
Well, yes.
If is everyone okay with me taking over for a second to talk about some shop?
Mm-hmm.
So I am about to be our for a little while our senior diversity correspondent, which doesn't feel great as a white guy who is presumably cis. So, but I guess being queer and potentially horny for everybody makes me the diverse member of the show soon. Here's the thing. We have lost some people over time. I mean, Brandon left quietly on his own terms because the show was not exactly what he wanted out of it anymore. Reb, Zach, Maddie, all leaving for their own purposes. We recognize we're a group of white dudes. And even the one person who's not a white dude is a white woman. Like, it's not the most diverse crowd. And we've actually been talking about this for like months. Actually, we've been talking about the plans on this.
This has been a long conversation.
Is we know that we're very, very white, and that while we have a fantastic community and fantastic friends and relationships within gaming media, that very much show that we are a good group. We don't have to prove to anybody where our hearts are, but our show does not look like our community does. So we made a very firm commitment a while ago that because we're going to be shorter on members for a while and we can really go crazy with the guests, we really want to highlight more guests that are outside of the standard couple of white guy close friends of the show that we like to have on when we're just randomly down a member, which is not to say they can't show up again. You know, we love our Tom Johnson and our Nintendon, but like this is a good opportunity for us to highlight and bring on more people who we are close friends with already and we just don't often put on the show. And then the other thing is that we are going to need a new person or two. And we made the call a while back that we all easily agreed on. No more white dudes. No more white dudes in SDGC. We're done. We're white duded out. We got plenty of us. We need that Wanda Maximoff snap. No more white dudes. So,
I understood that reference.
No more white cis dudes, I should say. Obviously, trans men are a different story, I believe. And I think we all agree with that. So we're going to take some time where we, behind the scenes, will talk about that sort of stuff. But the important thing is, for this next little chapter of our show, we're going to try to bring you guys some fantastic guests and friends and community members of all genders and colors and sexualities and creeds and everything, to show how beautiful our hobby is and our community is, and try to live up to the people that that are in our community. We want to be as good as our community is. And then in due time, we're in no rush, but in due time, we'll bring a little bit more flavor into the show. And that will make us all the better for it. So
and I do want to point out that that we're not replacing Reb, Zach, and Maddie. There's no replacements. We're just getting new faces. We can't. There is no replacing any of them.
People have popped out and into this podcast since it started.
I mean, it's not like community.
How many of us were actually here for episode 1? Just John, I think.
Just me.
Just John. So I mean, that's just how this goes.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure that everyone here except for John has joined since I joined 2.5 years ago. So the cast shifts around, and this is a normal part of the process. So.
It just lined up that we had one person who had basically left and another person, Zach, who was just burning out broadly in general and needs that break. And
like a dying star.
Yeah. And Reb having her own project.
I'm going to start calling Zach the Red Giant.
Reb having her own project is a great opportunity to make it official for all three of them. And it was a great opportunity for us, as we had already been talking about for a while, to go, okay, cool. Well, then let's start looking at who we can bring in that will add some not white cis man energy to this group, because it's the more of us that there are that are not white straight cis men, the easier it is on all of us, even subconsciously, which is a thing that Reb has beautifully pointed out multiple times, and is a very important perspective for all of us to keep in mind, that we as white men, because I'm a white man, can be overwhelming just in our multitudes. But we as people who are not 100% within the straight white cis men kind of umbrella, who poke out in any way, shape, or form, are made stronger by having friends and having more of us together. So the show's going to change a bit. It's going to change for the better. It's going to change for the better, as in it's going to be better than having 5 white dudes on.
Yeah. No offense.
We can't replace Reb. We can't replace him.
I agree with all of them.
Yeah.
But I do want to say, Derek, if you don't mind really quick, before we wrap up, again, the show's going to be great. It's going to keep going. But I want to say, in case people on the off chance are not following Reb, myself, and Maddie before we go, Reb, where can people find you on Twitter if they're not already following you?
You can find me on Twitter at DuckValentine. You can also read my work at gamesindustry.biz.
Woo! And I'm also throwing Maddie's Twitter handle into chat right there for people to follow Maddie. Also, from that page, you'll see quest logging. Feel free to follow that too to keep up on Maddie's blogging.
Sorry, hold on. I'll do it for the audio too. It's at, how do you say his last name? At Maddie.
See, that's why I threw it in chat.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm trying to spell it.
Gregoire.
It's at Maddie, Matty_Gregoire, Gregoire.
Thank you, Red. That's much better radio than me just being. It's in the chat because I can't pronounce his last name and don't want to embarrass myself.
I want everyone to
but also, if you're not following me already, you can find me at Twitter at Bearclaw Gaming, because the handle will live on.
You are
apparently
sweet and fluffy and delicious like a bear.
Thank you. But yeah, I guess we should wrap up and stop being sour about it, because it's cool shit and everybody's gonna be great. So in case people aren't following you, Justin, where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me at RoboPlato, like the philosopher, not like Plato, the kid's putty.
And sometimes food.
Apparently, some people have been getting confused, so I want to clarify that.
John, where can people find you?
Look,
don't.
If you're watching this podcast, people are already probably following me on Twitter anyway.
The ego, the hubris on this man. Derek, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Derby City Derek.
All right, take us home.
All right, folks. It's not always poetry. We don't always agree, but we do always keep it real. So until next time, please be good to each other.